Ken Paxton has been officially impeached from Texas and has been removed from office pending his trial.
An hour ago to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton. We are waiting on the governor to appoint an interim in that position as we start looking ahead at a Senate trial. The Attorney General faces 20 accusations from a House committee ranging from bribery to retaliation. It all stems from an investigation that started after Paxton proposed using state funds to settle a $3.3 million whistleblower lawsuit. Our Capitol Court.
I find that to be hilarious that is what kicked off the entire investigation, because if he didn't ask to have taxpayer money used to pay the whistleblower lawsuit, none of this probably would have happened.
Correspondent Ryan Chandler is at the state capitol right now.
Though it's odd why there wasn't an investigation beforehand over the whistleblower accusation, seeing that they won the lawsuit.
Now, Ryan, tell us what is next in this impeachment process.
Well, Mike, first, this is an immediately consequential decision. Unlike in Washington, D.C., where impeachment may be more symbolic, this has practical implications right now. Ken Paxton will be removed from office, relieved of his official powers and duties while that trial is pending in the Senate. That's what happens now. The articles of impeachment will be presented to the Senate, and the senators will actually act as a jury, just as any other trial would. They will get to hear evidence from the Attorney General from the start. Attorney General Paxton has said that these accusations could be, quote, easily disproven, but to this day, nobody has seen any of that exculpatory evidence. So we look forward to the senators weighing that evidence and deciding ultimately whether they will convict and permanently remove the Attorney General from office.
And Ryan, we know this debate took place for about almost 4 hours with both sides having their say. What are you hearing now from lawmakers there about the impeachment?
One thing I want to say that I find funny about Ken Paxton being impeached is that there are a ton of right-wingers that are blaming Biden and Democrats for this when it's his fault alone.
Well, after this vote, I think lawmakers are satisfied, but nobody is really surprised. We saw wide margins of both Republicans and Democrats vote to convict. The vote was 121 to 23, with more than 70% of Republicans voting. The 23 members who opposed.
Yeah, if you have so many of Republicans against you, you done messed up, because Republicans tend to protect other Republicans. No matter what, unless it's something very serious. And in this case, yeah, it was serious.
Opposed the impeachment were all Republicans, and they worried not so much about the Attorney General's guilt or innocence, but about the process. This did move very quickly, and they worry that individual members of the legislature were not able to see direct evidence. Still, though, the vote sailed through easily tonight.
Yeah, not even a close vote, you're right. And Ryan, Representative Charlie Guerin made a statement on the House floor about Paxton contacting House members before the vote. What claims did he make?
That's right. That was shocking new information we learned today. Multiple representatives accused the Attorney General of calling House members and threatening political consequences if they vote to impeach him. We were also hearing some.
Whoa, if that's true, that he was threatening people to get them to vote for, and to help him, that's crazy, because that's just even more prison time for political intimidation.
Some reports that may have been happening on the Senate side as well. So we saw one state representative not too long ago, Democratic State Representative Eddie Morales. He said that he's going to ask the House to update the charges against him to include intimidation of House members and Senate jury tampering. Of course, we would expect the top law enforcement official in Texas to be keeping more of a distance on this as it goes to the Senate.
That's hilarious. I hope they do tack on the extra charges, because he definitely deserves it.
And I would like to point out that several members of this House, while on the floor of this House doing the state business, received telephone calls from General Paxton personally, threatening them with political consequences in their next election.
And to do it personally instead of like having some like third party person do it for you is wild because like people know his voice, they know his number, so it's like, what do you think you're gonna get?
We haven't heard from any members personally who have said the Attorney General did call them. We'll work to track that down. But this is still shaping out. We expect the Senate may take this up, but not for a while. We're hearing it could be as late as late summer. So we'll stay on it. At the Texas Capitol, I'm Ryan Chandler.
Ryan, thanks for your reporting. We appreciate it. And Paxton did release a written statement moments after the vote. He called the process illegal, unfounded, and unethical. Paxton wrote, quote, "What we witnessed today is not just about me. It is about the corrupt establishment's eagerness to overpower the millions of Texas voters who already made their voices heard when they overwhelmingly reelected me."
Well, yeah, dude, no matter what he says, he's been caught. There was a lawsuit for the whistleblowers, and he lost that. Tried to pay him off with the taxpayers' money. That didn't work out for him, and now he's in even deeper trouble. He's going to say whatever he can in order to get out of it, but it's never going to work.
Paxton is referring to last November's election when he defeated Democrat Rochelle Garza by a double-digit percentage margin. And the Texas House Democratic Caucus released a statement on Paxton's impeachment. In that statement, Representative Trey Martinez Fisher says this vote is about the people of Texas and ensuring their elected officials are held accountable when they violate the people's trust.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how many people voted for you. If you start committing crimes in office, well, you need to be charged and punished for it. It doesn't matter if, 3 million people, 300 million people voted for you to be in office. Uh, Committing crimes is what will get you removed from office.
As we start looking toward the next steps of this impeachment process, we do want to give you a look inside the House chamber today as representatives discuss the vote for nearly 4 hours. Take a look. History in the Texas House. For the first time ever, lawmakers take on a resolution to impeach the state's Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I call up the privileged resolution, H.R. 2377, impeaching Warren Kenneth Paxton.
House General Investigating Committee members laid out their arguments against AG Ken Paxton.
And either this is going to be the beginning of the end of his criminal reign, or God help us with the harms that will come to all Texans if he is allowed to stay the top cop on the take.
Paxton's defenders made their case to the chamber against impeachment.
Now, there may be a lot of evidence out there. There may be volumes of evidence that would justify impeachment, but we don't got it. We don't have it. It's not there.
So how did we get here? As we said before, an investigation started after Paxton proposed using state funds to settle a $3.3 million whistleblower lawsuit. That lawsuit was filed in 2020 by 4 former staffers who accused Paxton of corruption. They were fired from the Attorney General's office after claiming Paxton misused his office to help a campaign donor.
Yeah, that's retaliation right there. They tried to expose him for something, and he retaliated with firing them, which is why he lost his lawsuit.
Those accusations led to a federal investigation that is still in progress. Well, this historic moment in Texas brought some big crowds to the Capitol. KXAN's Mercedes Hernandez is outside the chamber where people were lined up to listen today. Mercedes, describe the reaction after the vote for impeachment was announced just about an hour ago.
Yes, Mike, now the tone of the kind of crowd coming out of the chamber was some of disbelief and some of relief. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Now, the long lines of people that were waiting to get into the gallery, if you can believe it or not, it's around the corner. So picture how many people can fill this room right here. They're all gone now that the House has voted to impeach. They were waiting for that historic vote. Now, folks say that they were waiting as long as 8 hours here at the Capitol for that vote. Some of the people in line were following the Attorney General's call to show show up and stand in solidarity with him, many of them wearing stickers to show that support.
Do they not care that their official could be corrupt? Doesn't seem like
Some,
it.
the vote comes as a relief. Others, though, say that this isn't over just yet.